Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are looking at the DC Comics Multiverse Jim Gordon Batman. Of course we have Batman here in the front window box, Multiverse logo on the top, nothing on this side. We do have some artwork and the read-up on this side. After the death of Batman, Jim Gordon dons a mechanical suit to become Gotham City's latest hero. And on the back here we have the other figures needed in the wave to complete King Shark, and on the bottom the UPC code. But enough about that, let's get this open to take a look at Jim Gordon Batman. And here is Jim Gordon outside of his packaging. I have the alternate head on him right now, and we're going to take a better look at the Batman head sculpt and, of course, the Jim Gordon head sculpt. But, yeah, I think this is pretty cool that we get this version of Batman. I actually didn't read this series when Jim Gordon had become Batman, but I think it's cool that we get a figure based on it, and I think it's cool that they actually gave us the unmasked head sculpt with Jim Gordon with his mohawk there. But yeah, very cool figure. We'll go ahead and get into some of the better looks here of the accessories. He does come with the gun and the alternate head for Batman, and then of course the King Shark piece, which we'll just kind of glimpse at. But let's get a better look at the accessories. So just taking a peek here real quick at the gun that comes with Jim Gordon, and it's nothing special. He doesn't really hold it great as far as with the trigger. It kind of sits up a little bit, and it's a pretty basic looking gun. He does have a holster down here, which when you put it in there, I did notice that if you try to push it in, that what looks like a trigger will bend a bit. So it almost feels like it's meant to, you can kind of see how that trigger sort of rests on it. So I feel like that's sort of how it's meant to look. So he does get that holster. The other accessories that he comes with is the Build-A-Figure piece, which we'll look at later, and then the alternate head sculpt, which we'll look at here in just a moment when we get a better look at the figure themselves. And here's the Jim Gordon head sculpt up close and in detail, and yeah, it's actually a pretty decent looking sculpt. You can literally see the crow's feet there sculpted there in his eyes, and you do get some signs of age. I believe they did kind of bring his youth back a little bit there during New 52. Try to make him a little bit more of a, I don't know, just a youthful guy. But yeah, pretty cool that they did that. Looks like he's got a little spot where his mohawk missed, and you get some, looks like some marbling effect, but it's actually a pretty well done head sculpt. It looks kind of long, like his face looks long, but you know, I don't know, maybe that's what he looks like, I guess. But yeah, very cool. Looking at the Batman head sculpt real quick here. Pretty standard stuff, not a whole lot out of place, and it's hard to tell if they actually tried to do, yeah, I couldn't tell if they tried to actually have Jim Gordon's bottom half there on the mask or not. It's really hard to tell, but this is the short ears version of Batman, and he does just peg in once you take the head off. But looking real quick at the rest of the figure here, so the logo came out looking really good. You got a little bit of a mark right down here at the bottom, but otherwise, logo came out okay. He does have the police ranking there, I assume. I don't think that would commissioner, but maybe during this storyline he had a different rank. Like I said, I didn't read it. But that's really it for that. It's pretty standard body sculpt, so musculature and things like that look good. He does have a basic looking belt, as I talked about with that holster. It's got a little, just a strap, just literally a strap there. You can see some line work where it is meant to look like the costume there, but very little paint. Really, the only paint is you have there, and then on the belt itself. Other than that, it's a very plain looking figure, so not a whole lot that they could mess up with. And looking at the scale here, we can see that Jim Gordon comes in right at about 6.5 inches, and the ears on the Batman head sculpt don't really add that much height to it, if any. So it's about 6.5 inches for that design. Taking a look at the articulation real quick, so you do have a head that goes side to side. You don't get a whole lot of up and down motion just due to the limitations that Mattel has with their head joints. You do have arms that can go up to about there. You do have the full rotation, of course. You do have a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and you just have a swivel at the wrist, no type of hinge articulation. You do have a diaphragm joint, which doesn't look down much or back much. You do have a waist swivel. You do get those funky Mattel leg joints. This one does seem to, it doesn't get stuck on it. I just don't want to bend that too much, but you can. So it'll bend the plastic up, no big deal. He can kick forward pretty far, doesn't kick back at all. He's got this lower thigh cut down here, single jointed knee, and he only has a hinge, no type of ankle pivot on there. And for a quick comparison, we have Jim Gordon with the cowl back on, standing next to New 52 Superman and the Joker. And that about wraps it up for this review, everyone. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good-looking figure. I think it's cool that we do get some of the different types of Batman figures out there as far as the different uniforms and stuff like that. And in this case, I like that we actually get a Jim Gordon head sculpt to go with this figure, because I think that was definitely a great thing to do, because otherwise, you know, if you got a Batman like this, you wouldn't have known it was Jim Gordon unless you had actually read the series there. But as I said, this is the end of the review, guys. If you like this review, please hit the like button down below. If you got any comments on the review, please leave them down below. I always love hearing from you guys. And aside from that, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more content like this coming your way. And as always, thank you for watching the video, and have a great day.